Welcome to the Live Alone podcast, the podcast where two nerds who consume a whole lot of horror discuss their favorite pieces of horror media. From movies and TV shows to video games, novels, and everything in between. Because this is a spooky world, and we're just thriving in it. I'm your host, Sarah, the survivalist in your slasher friend group that will put up a lasting fight, but inevitably die because only the final girl can survive.
And I'm your host, Ian, the fearless fighter in your slasher friend group that tries to save the day, but ends up dying because physical strength just doesn't win in horror.
In today's episode, we're hosting a little Halloween party, so...
Whoa.
Let's set the mood. It's a chilly October 31st. You're walking home from school, shouting, "See you later," at your friends, as they run up their leaf-ridden front porches, and you're buzzing with excitement about the mounds of candy you're soon to claim. You thought all month long about your perfect costume. Maybe it's a fun and whimsical witch, or the most popular slasher villain of the year. Forget homework. You barely wave goodbye to your parents who are popping in a horror movie on VHS or DVD as you burst out the door to roam the spooky jack-o'-lantern lit streets for a night of tricks, treats, and spooks.
That sounds cool, but I wish it was like that.
I know. I wish it was like that too.
Again, yeah.
Okay, so we have set the scene. We're definitely in our childhoods now, and we're going to kick things off with a game, as always. So we're going to play a round of Trick or Treat, because this is a Halloween special, obviously. It's going to be like trick/treat questions, themed questions, and you're just going to pick which one you rather. Okay, so first question, and we can both answer these. So first question, chocolate or sweet candy?
Chocolate.
Yeah, me too. Next question, pranking your teacher with the class or jump scaring your sibling?
Jump scaring your sibling.
That's so funny.
I mean, pranking the teacher is to get like attention, but when you jump scare somebody, that's the best feeling.
No, it's not. Coming from a younger
that's
sibling.
That's the best feeling. You know what's weird though? Remember you try to jump scare me and I cannot get scared. I don't jump.
Well, good for you. That's probably why you like the jump scaring, because you could do it to other people.
Yeah, that might be an issue though. Maybe.
Okay, anyway, butterscotch or those filled strawberry candies?
I don't know if I want that butterscotch. I'd rather have the other one.
I would go with butterscotch. But okay.
Maybe Thanksgiving, not Halloween.
But it's not. It's Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Creative niche costume or horror classic costume?
That's slasher.
So horror classic?
The classic, yeah.
Yeah, I think that suits you more nowadays. Yeah. You pull it off. Okay, and then the last one. Staying up to watch a popular horror movie or your sibling allowing you one candy swap and they have your favorite candy.
The horror movie. Come on. Come on, we do a horror movie.
I really thought you would pick the candy one.
I can get candy now. I guess I'm not in that mindset.
Oh my gosh, I just put you in the mindset. We just transported back into our Halloween childhoods.
Okay. Say it again.
If you were a kid, would you rather stay up to watch a popular horror movie or your sibling allows you to have one candy swap and they have your favorite candy?
The candy.
Let's be real, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like also the popular horror movie would be good too because you go to school and you get to talk about it.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. You didn't say what you like.
Oh, shoot. I didn't. Okay, so I said butterscotch,
Yeah.
but I didn't say the costume. So I would creative niche costume. I think because I can't pull off a classic horror costume. I think I would also do the candy swap with my sibling.
I think you could pull it off. It's just that you gotta go a little over the top. Maybe have like larger shoulders, like add it on. I think you could pull it.
I don't think I, at my stature, could pull off Michael Myers.
Yeah, but you can still try it.
Could you imagine little old 4'11" me dressed up like Michael Myers?
You're gonna have to do something deadly.
That would be hilarious.
You're gonna have to do something creepy and deadly to prove yourself.
So we're gonna spend most of this episode kind of dialing back into our Halloween nostalgia, of course. So let's start with talking about some experiences from our childhood. Like, what were some of your Halloween traditions, or what did you do on Halloween day? What did you do on Halloween night?
Speaking of like horror and stuff, my mom showed me that movie Exorcist.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it was you know how horror stuff is like, oh, if you do something evil, a Christian person will be like, oh, that's the devil.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was kind of influencing me, but I was like, this is fun and games, and you get candy. After school, I mean, if it was depending on the age, then you would have a costume.
Mm-hmm.
So I wore the classics. I wore like Dracula, Let me
Nice.
see. It's really hard to remember. I don't know. I think I did a mummy. I don't think I did a werewolf.
You
did-
stuck to like the classics?
Yeah, it was like simple stuff. Later on, when you got older in school, you weren't wearing the costumes. Like, it was when you were like at elementary and stuff. Like you didn't wear it in like middle school and stuff.
Yes, I did.
I mean,
Speak for yourself.
some people did, but it was like I stopped wearing it during that time. But when I was younger, it was like the popular cartoons.
Got you.
We wouldn't go out like how some people go out like late in the night
Mhm.
to go out to get like trick or treating. We would do it on the walk from school because it was like around 3:00. And we were younger. And my parents would take me. My mom would take me. Me
Okay.
and the other brothers.
And so when you got home with all of your candy, was it like a war between you and your siblings?
As soon as we got home, first my mom would have to check all the candy.
Okay.
Because
Of course.
Yeah, it was.
It was different
90s.
time.
Yeah, different time. It was 90s. I mean, even now, parents should check their candy
Yeah.
to see if there's anything
I
wrong.
think there was a time like right before we were kids where people were just kind of like doing whatever. And then in specifically our childhood with all of those things going on with like tainted
Yeah.
candy, we all became much more aware. But yeah.
And then my dad would give out candy. He would sometimes give out money. I'm like,
What?
like pennies and quarters and.
What?
I mean, back then, kids, they were like it, whatever. He was just like, here.
Wow, I've never come
I
across
know.
that.
I was just like, why don't you just get them candy?
That is
And then I didn't
hilarious.
want the money, and I was like, all right, whatever. So I would do it too when I was home too. I would be like giving out kids. It would be fun to see all the costumes.
Ah, interesting.
And then we didn't really go back out again until I got older. Then I started going out again.
But you guys never like bickered about like your candy, the candies in your respective bins?
No, we weren't. We would all share. Like if it
Okay.
was because it was like 4 of us. So
That's
my
interesting.
parents didn't have the time for that fighting going on there. So I was just like everybody was quiet. Everybody had it wasn't that much fighting, or as
Okay.
long as I can remember, there wasn't that much fighting. Yeah.
Did you do anything else like for the rest of the evening? Like, did you watch scary movies? Did you have like scary shows and stuff that you would watch?
We would watch We would watch scary movies like Charlie Brown. We
Oh,
watched that,
like a
yeah.
Halloween,
The Halloween
special.
special, and
Yeah,
then-
yeah.
We would watch Friday the 13th or like Halloween if something was on, or even Simpsons. Remember Simpsons?
Of course.
Simpsons, yeah. Treehouse. We would watch that.
Hmm. But was it
And-
like a big thing when you got home after like trick or treating and stuff like that? Like, did y'all have like, was the hype up? Was all the energy really high, or
Yeah,
was it
it
kind of
was-
like whatever?
No, it was the hype was up because we were all like dressed up and we were like looking at the candies and stuff.
Yeah.
And then sometimes there were friends there too.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Yeah.
Cool.
Sometimes some of our friends were there too, and they were eating, or even our family members were there too.
Got you. And when did you stop trick or treating? Like, how old were you?
I stopped when I was I was really young when I stopped. I think I was like middle school, even before that. Like even in
What?
in high school when we wouldn't get dressed up like that because it was like I wasn't really like the person that go partying and stuff.
Hmm. It's so funny because when I met you, y'all were all really big into Halloween.
Yeah,
But your
yeah.
childhood seems to be kind of like on the more subtle side.
Yeah, it was more like scary movies and like who ruins Halloween too? Adults ruin it, like parents. I would go to somebody's house, and even if I was dressed up, and they're like, "You're too old to be doing this," I'm just like, "Fuck you," you know what I mean? Like,
That's so interesting, but you stopped when you were in middle school.
yeah, I stopped when I was in middle school.
That's young,
And
I think.
That is young, and then. I mean, I was tall, so people think I'm older. They can't see my face, obviously. I have a mask on, but they could tell that I'm older. It got better when I got older because after that, it wasn't about the candy stuff. We were going to the clubs now.
Mhm.
We would be doing contests to see who had the best
Oh,
costume.
costume
So that's why we were
contests?
so into it, yeah. And then I was older and I had
Mm.
money, so I was like, I'm going to make like the best looking costume.
It's so interesting. Your Halloweens are like the complete polar opposite of my Halloweens. I think when I was younger, Halloween was a big, big thing. And the way that we kind of did our trick-or-treating was different than your family. So basically, of course, we had costumes when we went to school because it's like the whole cutesy little thing that you do when you're in elementary school, right? When we got home from school, we would like stop. We would do our homework. We would like get all of like the annoying daily task type of stuff out of the way. And we would wait a couple of hours and then like go trick-or-treating. So we would go like when it's dark out. And basically we just went walking around the entire neighborhood. It would be a very lengthy event. We would probably go for an hour at the least to all of the houses, to all of like the businesses around the area. And we also used to like go scope out other people's costumes and stuff. So it was a whole event. And I think it was a lot of fun when I was a kid because my brother and I, though he's like older than me, he was so much fun to like hang out with, and we would like have the most fun. And because he was older than me, it was just the two of us that got to go. Like my parents didn't have to come with us.
Yeah, so you do whatever.
So we were kind of just like messing around, and he's kind of leading the show, and it's awesome. It's fun. You almost feel like the cool kids because your parents are not with you. So we would just go out and about. And like when we were way younger, of course, my parents would come with us, but they were kind of like chill about it. They were more on the backseat. They would be like, go do your thing, go run around, roam around, get the candy and stuff like that. And they wouldn't like limit us in that way. They had a lot of fun with it. And our costumes, I think when we were much younger were, like you said, the classic Halloween monsters and stuff. I think I had very cutesy girly kind of costumes. I remember being like a little bride once, and everybody on the block was like, you were the cutest thing ever. But it's so funny because you'll never ever see me dress in costumes like that anymore. And I didn't stop trick-or-treating until maybe I was about 16 years old. So I think up until that point, it was super fun. We would go every single year. And then as I got older, I think when I was in my middle school years to high school years, I stopped trick-or-treating with my brother because my brother is older than me. He started hanging out with his own friends, and I started trick-or-treating with my friends. And because we were a little bit older, once again, we didn't necessarily need our parents to go with us. So we would just go roaming around the whole neighborhood and having a blast and doing all sorts of crazy shit. I think that's when my costumes got a little bit more refined, and I would do like more niche characters. Like I think I did Storm one year, and it was really cool. So yeah, it was fun in different ways. And I think it was mostly fun because we didn't have any parents with us, and my parents would actually be at home watching the scary movies. So after we did our whole trick-or-treating thing and we would come home pretty late, we would go through our candy, of course. We would do the candy swap. That's why I was talking about it in the game. Like we did candy swaps, and if Steve, my brother, had like better candy, we would have a little competition almost. And then my parents would be watching scary movies. Halloween from 1978 was the movie that I remember watching on Halloween because my mom had it on. I also remember Charlie Brown, all that good stuff. And I think 16 is when I officially stopped trick-or-treating and started trying to like hang out with you guys, because that's when I started hanging out with my brother's friends, and I got a little bit older, so I wanted to be on like the older group and do things like that. But I never really got to go to the clubs because I was a little too young to go to the clubs. So y'all were doing all the clubbing stuff, and I was kind of just staying at home, and it was kind of lame until we got older, and now we do our own Halloween thing. We just did whatever we wanted. Not only that, but like the whole neighborhood was always bustling with all of the kids running around with their sick ass costumes. It was a fun time.
That was your side. My side, my mom was like too.
Well, you came from a family that was a little bit more on the religious. A little bit more on the religious side. Yeah, my mom was definitely not like that. She didn't embrace Halloween like I did. Like, she actually, as time went on, she wouldn't even give candy out. I don't think she ever gave candy out, to be honest. She just let us do our thing.
You know, it was weird, too. Like, remember how my house is? My parents' house? Mm-hmm. How the front door is the back.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, the back door, when you go through, it's supposed to be the front of the house. They have that as, like, the back of the house.
That's really dumb.
Like, a bedroom is there. So, it's like, every time it was time for candy, we were going in the bedroom, coming out the door to give the kids candy. I didn't even get to go out and do all that stuff that you did. I mean, I'm jealous. I didn't get to do it. But as I got older, it changes. It got better. I mean, you had your peak of Halloween when you got older, which one would argue is kind of better because you have your own money to spend. You have your own time to spend. And, you know, you can do whatever you want as well. But you're an adult, so it's more established. For me, it was kind of like I was a kid. You do silly kid things, and then that's pretty much it. And then when I got older, I didn't do that much. But we have our new balance of Halloween fun now as adults, where we have like our cool themed Halloween parties. Yeah, and it was different times too. Back then, it was like a lot of people were scared about like poisoning. But I do feel like in our childhoods, it was a lot less. I wouldn't say it was less strict because we were coming up in a time where things became stricter. But I will say nowadays, I don't think kids are really out and about like that. I also think that maybe kids these days don't really want to be out and about like that because they have their phones. Like they have social media, they have indoor entertainment. So while dressing up in costumes is fun and cool when you're in school and stuff like that, but when you're home, you're home. Whereas for us, it was kind of like we didn't have cellular devices. Our computers were like
I mean, not that entertaining.
Now,
Not the way that it is now. We surely didn't have social media like that. So our form of entertainment was going outside. What is your top 5 nostalgic Halloween movies, TV shows, stories, things like that? I'll start off so that I can give you some time to think. Charlie Brown is the number one nostalgic show that I think about when it comes to Halloween. What is it? The Great Pumpkin?
Yeah.
That one is a must every Halloween. Of course, Halloween from 1978, a must. I'll say The Exorcist, but the reason why is because it reminds me of my childhood when I watched it with my mom for the first time. So I think of The Exorcist. I like Halloween specials. So like The Simpsons, the ones that are on Disney Channel, Cartoon Network. Like whenever your favorite cartoon or your favorite TV show had a Halloween special, those were the bomb. I loved Boy Meets World. Their Halloween special episodes, those were fire. So those are the top ones that I can think of. I also think of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I would read and reread and reread those stories all the time.
Oh yeah, me too.
Those are such good ones. Goosebumps, a must. My brother actually gifted me the whole Goosebumps collection because he knows I love those so much. I would read them and reread them. They were all over my bedroom floor when I was a kid. I think those are mine. What about you?
You said a lot of those. Video games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, video games. We always play Dead by Daylight.
Yeah.
Or Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Resident Evil, like something really scary.
Mm-hmm.
Halloween. We gotta watch Halloween that day. Always. It's like a tradition
Always.
now. You watch it.
Have to.
The original one.
Yeah.
That gets nostalgia. What else? Candy corn.
Ooh.
I have to eat candy corn.
Candy corn. That's a good one.
Like I have to get some candy corn. Even if I get the big bag, I'm gonna have to share it. But I need when I taste that candy corn, I'm like it takes me back to Halloween.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I mean, this is something hot. Something you know what I mean? Like something hot.
Something hot.
Something hot. Yeah. I can't tell you like exactly what it is. I can't remember, but
something
it's like,
cozy, maybe?
Yeah, something cozy because it's like the weather when it's like a nice cold Halloween outside, where you wear your costume and then you don't have to wear extra clothes, no jacket or anything.
Love those.
Yeah. And then I mean putting on a mask too, like serial killer, but
that's a little creepy. That's funny. Those are good ones.
Let's see what else. I mean, my desk at work is like I decorate my desk too, so it's like
that is nostalgic. That's like when you get to pull them out every year.
Pull it out every year.
Yeah.
Let me see what else. Pumpkin carving.
Of course, that's a tradition of ours that we've been doing. Did you know that we've been doing that since 2014? So we're coming on to 10 years almost.
Anniversary.
We always go pumpkin picking every single year. We have like a whole photo shoot session. You gotta get shots of the pumpkins. There's so many of them. We pick up our favorite pumpkins. We get soup dumplings right after because it's like a chilly day when we go pumpkin picking. We warm up with the soup dumplings.
Something hot.
Something hot. You were spot on. And then we go home and we put on Scream, of course, and we carve our pumpkins. We've been doing that for almost 10 years.
Yeah, so that's nostalgia now. Scream, the movie.
You're so right.
Right?
Of course, speaking of Scream, there's a lot. You definitely listed more than 5.
Yeah, we do it all year round, but it's just around like when you do it around October. You just know it's coming. I feel like when it's like September, October time, we do like specific things every single year. And it's not only because we enjoy doing them, but it brings us back to that nostalgic feeling. There's nothing better than that. And there's nothing better than a nostalgic Halloween feeling, at least in my opinion. It just, I don't know, it's like the most childlike joy. And that's like the best thing ever. Yeah, it's like Sarah doesn't wait for Christmas, you know? People wait for Christmas like, oh, it's Christmas coming at the end of the year. Now we wait for Halloween.
Yeah. It'll be like July, August at this point, and I'm like,
when
so
Halloween. And that's our birthdays too. I'm coming up to our birthdays. So.
We have a lot to celebrate during this time of the year. There's just so much. There's birthdays, both of our birthdays, wedding anniversaries. It just piles up. So I always tell my friends, like, don't even try to make plans with me in September and October because I am fully booked for every single weekend out of those 2 months. But it's the best time.
Yeah. It's our favorite.
So I think that is it for our little nostalgic Halloween episode. I hope you enjoyed this special. We didn't talk about any particular piece of horror media, but we wanted to keep it chill. We wanted to kind of go back in time for a little bit and enjoy the Halloween feels, the Halloween vibes. So we hope you also have an amazing Halloween this year. Let us know on social media if you're doing anything cool, like what you're dressing up as, if you're dressing up. Let us know any of your Halloween traditions or things that you did when you were younger. Are you part of the same generations as us and you kind of vibe with what we were talking about? Let us know at liveralonepod on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube. But thank you so much for listening to this special. This was a bonus episode. We weren't anticipating doing this episode, so surprise. I hope you enjoyed it. And we are officially on break. So season 1 has ended. Can you believe that?
That's crazy. That was quick.
I know. I feel like we just started the season and here we are at the end. But we are going to be taking a break for a month and we will see you again for season 2 on Wednesday, November 29th. Mark your calendars. We'll be back and we have a whole season lined up for you. It's going to be so much fun.
Spooky year round.
Of course. Of course. Any kind of like teasers for what's going to happen in season 2? I know we're going to touch on some spooky wintry vibes. I know we're also going to be talking about some trending horror that's going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
So we got some good stuff.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, mark your calendars, November 29th. But for now, we'll see you in the kitchen with a knife.